to move on to my crew of Republicans, to include Mast, Rick, DeSantis, Rubio, Trump, Vance, Byrne guy out of, I think you're Vegas, Mark, Tim Scott, Byron Donalds, Governor of Texas, Abbott, and Kemp. Right now I'm faking a smile. Okay, so I wanted to bring up some concerns. It's not concerns, it's actually practices. Practices of being in your community, of learning to work in the community. First of all, when someone's speaking, there's no cross-talking. So this is all about the internet. So what is cross-talking? Cross-talking is me and Tim are at the podium and we're speaking. And then you are all not listening and you're all talking to each other. That's like, sounds like gossip, but you're disrespecting the language. And then you create a confusion around the community, which is the loyal patriots. Because they've got a lot of friendly uplift going on. It's very annoying. It's disgraceful. Like, the older people are like, their heads are exploding. The younger people are acting like buffoons. I mean, we're in complete chaos. When in doubt, be in communication is a different experience than no cross-talking during your session. Now, this is I've only got 10 minutes to go through this, but really think about how this affects you and your community within your state and how you want to run your meetings. When in doubt, be in communication. That means if Tim Scott, and I don't know why I keep bringing you up, but Byron Donalds and Tim Scott, Byron Donalds heard that Tim Scott said something about him, but that's a lie. And maybe he did say it, but it's not what it was intended to be heard through the grapevine. So what Byron says is, hey, Tim, I got word that this doesn't sound like something you would say, but I just want to ask you, did you say this? He said, yeah, I said that. He said, yeah, I said that. So is it an angry experience? Well, then you should have come to me first. And then a woman shows. So what I want to bring into awareness in the group is that Tim Scott has a woman around him that inflamed Tim Scott, which is called gaslighting, which was about Byron Donalds. And then Byron Donalds' assistant told him that the other assistant heard that Tim Scott said, and then she told Byron Donalds, and then now they're in a fight. But it all stems from the woman who has nothing to do with what's actually going on in the country. So if Tim Scott would have heard that, and then the first thing he would have done was picked up the phone and said, Byron Donalds, da-da-la-la, they could have literally laughed these bitches out the door. Because women love to cause trouble. It doesn't matter if you're red or blue. They just like to cause trouble. These lives are fucking boring and lame. Only practice this with your peers. Do not ever invite anyone into the circle. That means you're only with your Congress people, with your senators, and with Donald Trump. You keep things private when they need to be private. Only receive coaching and training from your leader? What happens if you go to a fellow personality to ask questions about something that they don't really know about? You get confused. And then you fall for the assistant in this form of the gossip. So Donald Trump would be that person, and J.D. Vance would be that person, because they are your future president and vice president. And in the future, it would be the chain of command, because there is no chain of command. And it doesn't have to be bureaucratic or bureaucracy or whatever. It's the law, it's the rules, it's how we thrive as a country. And this is only going to work with Americans and Republicans, because that Democrat Justin Squared out of Tennessee, I cannot believe y'all voted for that shit. That's embarrassing. You will practice at least twice per week. You will provide practice feedback, meaning you're going to give Byron feedback, and Byron is going to give Rick Scott feedback. And it might be painful, and we won't deviate from the format. Love, like, share, hate. Love, like, share, hate. That's the format. Love, like, share, hate. Be on time and be ready. 5 minutes prior to ready, set, let's roll. Everybody remember what let's roll was on a phone call in 9/11? That's a Republican thinking on your feet. That's what a Republican does. So forgive me, but I can't remember what your name is at this time, but the dude on the airplane who saved the Pentagon was a Republican. And he said, let's roll, because we ain't tolerating this shit. And so he ended up being a sacrificial American to save your asses. And that's what a real American does. And that could be a like example. No gossip. Gossip is emotions, it's aspirations, it's dreamers. It's everything that Kamala Harris is teaching in the Democrat Party, meaning they're partying. They're like college students partying, living in dreamland and aspirations and inspiration with nothing tangible except for trying to figure out how to dupe people into doing what they want. It's very clear. I don't see how you guys can't see it. It's very illegal. It's very unethical. It's very much like the programs that I've taken. However, they don't know how to teach it. They don't know anything about it, and they don't have any results from it because they don't have an education in science. They thought they were going to put the wool over my eyes or your eyes. I'm not really sure. But it's very hokey, and it's very gross, and it's very despicable, and it's very violent. It's very much a cult. You'll honor the confidentiality, and if you all sign a confidentiality agreement, you'll actually be more inclined not to share things as an intuitive experience. You can you commit 100%? And you must be open and be coachable. And you never know. And this is only for Republicans. Not pretend Republicans, because I can sniff your asses out in a fucking second if you're not a real Republican. See, there's going to be the fake Republicans in your faces who are literally gossiping. So all of these things that I just told you are literally your signs that these people aren't real Republicans. And there will be an essence of them, of strength, of willing to fight. And then there will be an extreme amount of fighting in them because they're being gaslit. However, it is important to participate in